And just remember that it's quality over quantity. Just because you're not spending that much time with your kids because you're at home and it's taking you longer to work doesn't mean that they're not enjoying it. Pick something and dedicate yourself to them 100%.
Hi, everyone. This is Melissa Alton. I am the Objectionable Mom. And today on Lawyer Moms Talk, I have with me Patricia Preciado. What's one piece of advice to moms that maybe are struggling right now in their careers as lawyers, or they're unhappy with where they're at as far as their law offices or their practice area? What advice do you give to those women?
The advice I give them is to sit down with a sheet of paper and be honest with themselves. If they are not happy where they want to be, make a realistic plan. Your plan may not be to quit right now and just run away and that's it. The plan may be to come up with some must-haves and sitting down with someone at their office to see if they can accommodate those. The plan may be to move to some sort of part-time basis at their firm. It's figuring out what their must-haves are and then finding a way to accomplish them either at their current place, at a new place, or on their own, whatever they find that works for them. But just the fact of finding what you want to work towards and then seeing a way to get there, I think gives you some peace. Even if your plan is 18 months out to get to your final goal, it gives you some peace because you're working towards it versus just sitting there unhappy and stagnant.
Right. And reminding them that they don't have to stay where they're at either, because sometimes I feel like we get so overwhelmed with where we are in our careers. And because even studying, going to law school is such an investment in and of itself. And so many of us are flooded by student debt and they think, well, this is it. This is the only job I can ever have or career choice I can ever have. And they feel like they're stuck. And it might be too late to move out of whatever law firm they're in. So that's a really good technique to just sit down and write it down step by step of where they can go and where they might see themselves in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. And what about moms? What do you feel like moms should know that maybe they feel like they're investing too much time in their work, in their careers, and they're not dedicating enough time to their kids?
I think just like we make to-do lists for work, I think that they can make some sort of, and obviously I like lists, they can make some sort of list for their kids. And just remember that it's quality over quantity. Just because you're not spending that much time with your kids because you're at home and it's taking you longer to work doesn't mean that they're not enjoying it. Pick something and dedicate yourself to them 100%. Don't try to multitask and work and take care of them at the same time all day. I understand that's going to be the norm for most of the day, but find a time that you can dedicate to them and only them, whether it's your lunch hour, whether it's bedtime, and give them some eye contact. Because in the technology that we're in today with the phones, even though you're hearing them and you're acknowledging what they're saying, if you're looking at their phone and you're not giving them that eye contact, that affects the communication. So make sure that when you're giving them that quality time, it's 100% of you.
Absolutely. And the eye contact, I'm so glad you brought that up because it's so true. I think just yesterday, my 3-year-old said, mommy, 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 no lie. It had to have been like 300 times in a matter of 4 minutes. And I was like, what is that? And I think when I looked at him and actually looked in his eyes, he kind of calmed down. He was like, okay, I'm here. But sometimes that's all it takes. And so I think the younger that they are, the harder it is for them to recognize that you are connecting with them, that you are there and present with them. So it's a really great piece of advice. What's one thing that you wish you could tell your younger self, pre-law and pre-kids, before you went to law school, before you were a mom?
I would probably tell myself to take it a little easier. It wasn't until I had kids that I actually started taking it easier. I was very much about making plans, following them through 100%. Like there was no, let's change this one little thing and do it 98%. If I made a plan, I would push myself until it was finished. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And sometimes it didn't matter. So I think I would have, been more relaxed and enjoyed a little bit more if I wasn't that way. But thankfully, the kids have made me that way because, as you know, you make plans and it doesn't always work out how you want because
They
they
do
have.
whatever they want.
Exactly. So that got me away from that, but I wish I would have realized that before kids because I think it would have helped me enjoy a little bit more.
Well, I guess that's why they come along, is to
Yeah.
help us out.
Yeah.
One last little bonus question that I like to ask. How do your kids describe what you do for a living? Do they know what you do? Can they tell someone, what your profession is?
Well, I know Esmeralda understands to a certain extent that there's a lot of reading and writing involved. She loves to see me on the computer with all the letters. And it's kind of funny because she's learning her letters now and she'll stand next to me. She goes, "Ooh, I see an A. I see a B." And I'm like, okay, you're going to see a lot of A's, a lot of discussion and words involved. But I don't know how much more than that she grasps, but she does love it. Sometimes she'll sit next to me with a book and she'll just start looking at the book and go, so
Well, I really appreciate you being here with me today. I appreciate everything that you've said and what we've discussed and all the knowledge and tips that you shared with us.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us today on The Objectionable Mom. And this is Lawyer Moms Talk.